What's up, guys? I'm a little early. um, I had to do a little early today because I got Zeekster all day. Oh, I keep forgetting to bring my mic over here. I got Zeekster. I got Zeke all by myself today. So he's very needy. He usually has my grandma, so he usually has somebody there at all times. And I feel bad leaving him. To especially at night all by himself. So I'm gonna try to keep this not too long of a live. Hey, what's up, True Crime? Um, I edited together. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I have all kinds of crap. What's up, Ashley? At Delphi, yeah. Oh, I don't need to shut this. I'm the only one here. Usually I shut this little thing to like keep the sound out, but I'm home alone. I probably shouldn't say that, but oh well, a lot of people even live alone, so it's not that big. I'm like talking to myself into me telling you guys that. So I edited together just like a little compilation of like news clips of a couple people just kind of explaining what they think as far as what's going to happen with or what's not going to happen, I should say, with Richard Allen. I feel like a lot of people are saying, from what I've seen, a lot of people are saying the same thing I said right after that day. When was it? Was that yesterday or two? That was 2 days ago, right? That yeah, it's probably going to be the end of the whole Odinism thing. Ooh, and I'm going to go over somebody emailing me this. It's like a couple page thing of it's like what do you call that? Where she goes over like the signs of well, I'll show you guys, but it has to do with the Odinism thing. It's really it's not that long. It's just a couple pages, but I thought it was kind of interesting. So we'll go over that. Let me wait a couple more minutes and I'm going to bring up that video. Say hi to a couple people. Is so we got 34 people, but only you and Anthony are are talking, Ashley. Or was my chat not working? Just waking up. Yeah, true crime, because it's only what time there? It's wait. So it's only 2:11 or wait. Yeah, it's 11 there, right? So yeah, I'd be probably just waking up. I woke up actually early today though, because I was actually gonna go with them in 11. Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me share. Let me get this file here. It's only like an 8-minute video. It's a couple just a couple clips from people talk news clips from them talking about what they expect here. Um about what happened. Oh, hey Shelly. Hey Buala. Dre. Oh, thank you. Oh, cool, Dre. True crime. No, it's nothing major. Don't expect anything. It was just a couple clips when I was watching news clips. It's nothing. It's nothing like all I did was clip together a couple, like a few news clips. It was like at like 4 or 5, and I just like clipped together important parts. So it's nothing like nothing major. So don't expect a lot. I just thought it was interesting. I interviewed some lady about like how she thinks it's gonna be hard for. It's gonna be hard. Oh, and the person the judge is gonna be the one hiring or finding the public defender, just like I was saying, dude, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be biased. I mean, the state is gonna I mean, obviously, they're the ones um, that find the public defender, right? And the public defender is working for the state. Chances are the people that take on this case it's not they're not gonna go that route. And I know you're probably happy, Anthony, because you thought it was a bunch of crap, I think, right? But I would have liked to see some of it. So I am kind of upset because now we're not going to probably see any of that. Any of that stuff that the defense brought up, we're probably not going to be able to see now. And I wanted to see for myself if that like how they presented it, what was true, what was what. And that makes me mad because think about this, Anthony, though. Think about this. Now you're going to have thousands of people doubting. If we don't get to see all of that stuff, you're going to have so many people doubting this now. You don't want that though, right? That's what it's not going to be good. Even if you think it's a bunch of crap, you should want them to show us what they have, right? Because if it is, then people will see and then they don't have to doubt Richard Allen. But now if they just disregard it and go another route, we're all going to be like, we're doubting. We don't know. You might have the wrong guy. And it could start the thing where there could be like documentaries. And like if you get like a big group of people, think about how many people get exonerated or they have that Alford plea, or there's different routes where murderers get out. I think a couple times that, well, at least for sure one time I feel that it let out some murderers, but I know people have different opinions on that case that I'm talking about. But I just think yeah, it's not a good idea. There's too many people now. We all know about it, and now there's going to be too much doubt. Yeah, but I don't think I'm talking about in the trial. If the defense doesn't go that route, the trial, they're not going to bring that stuff up. If their defense is going to be something else, we're not going to see that stuff. And since the way that this case has been so freaking secretive and sealed, and oh, you can't. Do you think after the trial they're going to let us request that stuff? No, we're never going to see it if they don't bring it up. I hate that we're not going to, maybe not. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I don't know, but it doesn't sound, I don't know. It doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. So this one lady that's talking, saying like it's going to be anybody that takes on this case, it's going to be so much work. It's going to be so expensive for the work and the time and the effort. I mean, man, I wish they would not have went through, because I don't think they would have got kicked off. But yeah, I do true crime. I think there's a good chance that they will, because they said the judge is the one that's going to pick the public defender, right? Or I mean, you know what I'm saying? No, I think there's a good chance that they will. Yeah, I do. I hope not. I hope not. Maybe not. But I do think, yeah, there's a good chance that they will. They'll go another route with it. They might even try to get a deal, try to make him take a plea deal for the, is the death penalty on the table or not? I was trying to figure that out yesterday or when we were on a live, because it with this, I'm trying to think the qualifications. Would this qualify for a death penalty case? I don't think it is, because we haven't heard anything about that. But that would be like a bargaining tool that they could use if it is on the table. They could be like, "Hey, just take the deal and you won't get the death penalty." You know what I'm saying? And a lot of freaking people, even innocent people, do that crap because they don't want to. They'd rather save their life than, you know what I'm saying? If a lawyer convinces their client that you don't stand a chance, like you better take this deal. I don't want to say I got fooled into it because it all worked out in my favor. But I got talked into pleading guilty for something I didn't do, because he said, "You have a 50-50 chance," and I would just, "It's a good deal and it's not worth it." In reality, I don't know. Maybe that was bad advice. I could, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I could have won since I was innocent, but I listened to him. So I had to go up in front of court and say guilty to something that I didn't do. And it was 4 felonies. It was felony. I mean, it wasn't like no small thing. So I had to go up there and say I was guilty for something I didn't do, because my lawyers said, "Nope, it's not a good idea." And I'm like, "But I'm innocent. Like, what do you mean?" "Well, we could take it to trial, but I would not recommend." So just think about it. Okay, no death penalty. But just think about it though. Even like you listen to the lawyers and they talk you into it, and then it's just like, ugh. So yeah, it just worries me, Anthony. I don't know. I hope not though. They had to file for intent to seek death penalty, but I know that's what I'm thinking. I never heard anything about that. And if you think about it, we were set to go to trial in January. We would have heard about it by then. So I think you're right. So I'm thinking that it's not, because it has to fit certain qualifications. I know. What if, I think if a minor under 5 or 6 years old, right? Is that what it is that automatically that you could get a penalty? I think that's the age. I don't know why I'm thinking that's the age. I could be wrong, and it could just be any minor. But why was I thinking like 5 or 6 years old if you're under? I have to look it up. But um, I know that's a good point. Actually, wait, that's a really good point. That is like that. Well, hold on, I'm trying to think, if you take, like, if you're under oath when you do that, because I know when you testify, you have to be under oath. But I'm trying to think when I pled guilty, I don't did I? But that's true. I mean, they want you to tell the truth. I mean, but I'm trying to think if I was under oath when I pled guilt when I said I'm guilty, because then that would be messed up. I don't think they make you when you do the plea, like if you're taking a deal because they would. I don't know who freaking knows, but I hope not. That's messed up. They make you like perjure yourself on purpose, like that. No, I don't think. I don't remember. I don't think I had to actually when I pled out. I really don't. But that would be really messed up. So yeah, Anthony, but I wasn't. I wasn't. It all worked out, but I mean, in reality, it worked out in the end because I did everything I needed to get it off my record. But in reality, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right, let me just wait, but they do that when you plead guilty or not guilty, though? I feel like I don't remember. I don't like think about like court cases when people they make their do they say that though? When you're making your guilty or not guilty or whatever, I don't feel like that you're under oath for that. Oh, but you're just saying something else. They raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth? I say yes, lie. Oh. Well, but they know people take deals though. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so because I think anyway. All right. So yeah. Um Milo. Yeah, but no, it's nothing major. I just put it together a couple clips where they interviewed a couple people about what happened. I think it was like from 2 days ago. I just thought it was interesting. That's all, Anthony. So don't it's nothing major. No, you're I don't want no great expectations on what this clip. But the first part I just muted out because I wanted to show you, but I did a short on that where that shows them go up to
This announcement Thursday afternoon took even the judge by surprise.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen.
It'll play later.
Earlier this afternoon,
I just played this over.
the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr.
Hold on 1 second. I feel like they cut out. It went in a different order. Hold on. I thought that I just played at the end of it, where just the part we already seen. I guess not. No, sorry. Oh well. I know we already seen this part, but I thought I would just play it again.
Allen.
With that, the trial of Richard Allen is now on hold as a search begins to find a new defense team.
I would suspect this might take a little bit longer than expected.
Michael Moore is Assistant Executive Director with the Indiana Public Defender Council.
Right now, Indiana is facing an attorney shortage, so it's very likely this process could take a long time because just the sheer lack of lawyers available.
Moore spoke with me Friday afternoon, and he said because Carroll County relies on judges to appoint public defenders, the new defense team in the Delphi Murders trial will be selected solely by Special Judge Francis Gall.
I will reach out to public defenders to make that appointment.
Gall will have to appoint someone with lots of felony trial experience to meet requirements of the state's Public Defender Commission. Moore says whoever the judge selects to be Richard Allen's new attorney will have a lot of work to do. First and foremost, simply earning the trust of the defendant.
You have to develop a relationship with the client, and the attorneys here did. And so coming in as a new lawyer and trying to reestablish that relationship will be a challenge. It will take time.
Other challenges include reviewing a mountain of evidence collected over the past 6.5 years and deciding whether to follow legal strategies already laid out by Allen's former attorneys or to develop a brand new defense.
That can be really challenging, especially with a case where it's so high profile, where there are so many outstanding discovery issues and evidentiary issues that have not been resolved.
With all those challenges, Moore thinks a new defense team will need a long time to prepare for trial, meaning a delay that could last well beyond next summer.
I think 6 to 9 months would be highly unrealistic for him to receive a fair trial. Even with two lawyers, I still think a year and a half to 2 years in that time frame is probably a more realistic time frame because they are essentially starting from scratch.
I just wanted to show you how It's so sad. So there's Kathy and Richard's mom. He goes out and then they walk out. You guys probably seen that clip, but
and so you have to be willing to make that sacrifice to take that case at a lower rate. And is that something that you could, frankly, afford to do in terms of how it would affect the rest of your practice? I mean, this is the type of case that would shut a practice down to solely focus on this case.
And she said the other challenge is all the evidence. We are talking almost 7 years worth. So a lot to consider for whoever takes on this case, but it's a decision Judge Gall will ultimately have to make.
The main suspect in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German is now without legal representation. Wednesday, attorney Andrew Baldwin withdrew his representation of Richard Allen, and attorney Bradley Rosie is expected to follow.
Earlier this afternoon, the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen.
But just hours before, an attorney for Baldwin submitted a filing which seemed like Baldwin was fighting to stay. It comes after state police investigated a leak of evidence that allegedly came from Baldwin's office.
So very surprised by that turn of events.
Katie Jackson Lindsay is a defense attorney in Marion County. She said finding new attorneys for Allen will be a challenge.
And so this court is going to have to dig deep into the legal community to figure out, first and foremost, which attorneys would fit those qualifications, and then who would be willing to take on a case of this magnitude, and if they can fit that into their practice. And so it's quite an in-depth process, I think, to replace attorneys on this case.
Last month, the former defense team also laid out their strategy for the case in a 132-page document, including theories of Odinism, described as a pagan Norse religion overtaken by some white nationalists. But it's not clear if that defense will remain.
It's almost as if the case starts over because they have to review every single piece of evidence that was reviewed by prior counsel just to see, where things are and what defenses are viable.
As for a January trial, that will likely be pushed back.
If you think of how long it took us to get to this point, I think you can add that exact amount of time in terms of guessing a trial date.
And Judge Gall did indicate that Allen's former attorneys will cooperate with the new defense attorneys. But Scott and Felicia, it's not clear how long that will take to hire new attorneys, but we do know there is a hearing set for October 31st, and that's when we're hoping to get a little more insight on a new trial date and new attorneys for Allen.
So here is what we know right now. Richard Allen's defense attorneys are stepping down in the case, and the current January trial date will likely get pushed back. Richard Allen is accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017. He wasn't able to appear during yesterday's hearing, and that is because he no longer has legal representation. Our cameras captured the moment Allen's family was led out of the courtroom. The move from Allen's attorneys comes after a reported leak of sensitive evidence related to the case from a friend with access to the office of defense attorney Andrew Baldwin. Now the judge is asking for a new public defender for Richard Allen.
What I can share with you is that the defense attorney, Brad Rosie, he walked into the courtroom, he approached Richard Allen's wife and mother in the gallery, whispered something to them, and then they all left the courtroom together. We would not see them again for the rest of the afternoon. Moments later, we understood what that was foreshadowing. The judge started the hearing and she made a surprise announcement.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier this afternoon, the defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen. Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw, and Mr. Rosie will be submitting a written motion to withdraw, I'm assuming within the next couple of days.
So also today, the families of murder victims Abby Williams and Libby German, they were inside the courtroom. My colleague, Emily Longnecker, was outside court as they exited. Emily, what did you see?
Well, Bob, we wondered what everyone's reaction would be to this bombshell announcement, but we didn't hear from anyone as they left today. And remember, there is a gag order for all the parties involved in this case, the investigators, the counsel, and the family members, everyone. So no one would talk. And let's take a look at folks as they were leaving today. Take a look. That is Prosecutor Nick McClelland leaving, and he had nothing to say today as he left the courthouse. Libby German's grandparents were also here, Mike and Becky Patty. They also remained quiet as they left. Investigators said nothing as they left today. All of these folks arrived early and they left quickly when the hearing was over. Now, we learned from defense filings this morning that there was some kind of leak out of Baldwin's office, not by staff, but by someone close to Baldwin who had access to his office space. And defense was concerned that this could possibly disqualify them. So they filed a memorandum this morning saying a disqualification would be an extreme remedy to take. And this filing seemed to indicate that they were fighting to stay on the case. Then this afternoon, that decision announced by Judge Gall that the defense attorneys for Richard Allen were quitting, were withdrawing. And Judge Gall saying today that Allen will likely be appointed a new counsel at that October 31st hearing, but also then indicating today that this trial was going to be delayed, and obviously that has got to be difficult for these families. And 13 No's spoke with an attorney that was here today to represent Attorney Baldwin. That's right, Attorney Baldwin had his own attorney here in court in case sanctions or disqualifications came up. That attorney, David Hennessy, filed paperwork this morning where we learned about a leak that came from Baldwin's office, not from staff, but by a friend who had access to Baldwin's office space. In the paperwork filed today, Hennessy called the leak, quote, a horrible tragedy created by persons not related to the defense of Mr. Allen. Hennessy also wrote, Mr. Baldwin trusted a friend to respect his office space, and he was betrayed. The memo also talked about that leak, the information coming out of that leak being shared and disseminated by 3 different people. That memo also indicated that one of those persons died by suicide when law enforcement started to look into this leak. The memorandum talked also about a strong bond between Attorney Baldwin and Richard Allen, and really argued for the importance of keeping the same counsel for Allen's rights and a timely trial. And then about 4 hours later, everything changed.
I'm trying to find well, first of all, you guys, I did read that document that they're talking about, if you guys are interested in it. But I probably won't read it again because I read it on my last one. But I'm trying to find the article I read that was talking about Kathy going to get Kathy and taking her to talk to Richard back there somewhere, and then you could hear her crying, and you could hear it sounded like that he was crying too, like you could hear like both of them kind of crying or something. Did anybody else read that? Because I can't find it now. And then she walked back out, but it sounded like he was crying too, and so they basically took her to talk to him. And did anybody read that? I'm trying to find it so I could read it to you guys. I don't know where I read it at. I read it a couple days ago. Now I can't find it. Does anybody know did anybody else see it? I just thought it was kind of interesting that they said it sounded like he was crying too. Is it like people could hear what was going on, kind of like they could hear them talking or whatever, I guess. And they could hear him talking to her, and then they said it sounded like they were both crying. I don't know where I read it. I know, I wish I could find it because it was kind of interesting, but I'm trying to find it, but who knows? Does anybody hold on one second, let me pull this up. This is oh yeah, I had it up on this one, that's right. Hold on one second, guys. Here's the document that they were talking about. Hold on, let me share my other screen here. 1 second. You guys want to see Zeekster? The Zeekster. He's so sweet. Yeah, here's that one that they were talking about. And then there's a couple of them actually. Hold on. And then I was also reading where I don't remember where I saw this, but they were talking about how like they just didn't want to, or was it on these clips where it's like the lawyers didn't even want to, like they would basically be risking like maybe possibly getting in more trouble to try to fight it or whatever, because it could be they could get into like a wrongful death charge. I guess they still could, but I think the fact that they would just withdrew and they're just like stepping back, it probably decreases the chances. But supposedly that could possibly be a possibility, like because of the guy unaliving himself. I don't know. It would probably be hard for them to win. I mean, for them to lose, like the lawyers to lose, but like because the guy that took it out of the office and then, there ended up being a death. So there could be like some kind of wrongful death case or whatever against him. So it's like all this stuff, and it's like almost not worth them even doing that to risk their careers or whatever. So I think like them withdrawing helps. I don't know. I mean, they could still go that route, but maybe it takes down the chances of anybody doing that just because they just like backing away, like, okay, we're done. I almost don't blame them, I guess. I mean, if they were thinking that it would be better just to step down and not risk any of these other things coming at them or whatever. But yeah, I read this on the live. Let me see on the last live. It just talks about, it's actually the document that before they withdrew, it would have been like an argument of, they bring up other cases where what they did does not warrant a disqualification, basically. So they bring up like other court cases, but then so Hennessy has this all prepared, and then they end up withdrawing, so it doesn't even really matter. But it just goes over cases where what they did wouldn't fit for disqualification, like they shouldn't be disqualified. So that's what this document was. Hold on, let me see something real quick. I want to show you that thing that this girl put together, but I want to see if I could find something really quick. Hold on. I was thinking maybe I sent that article to my email. Sometimes I do that. I didn't. Okay, so let me just wait. Who's being rude, Ashley? Wait, why, Deal Glass? What do you mean you have to turn it off? What did I do? You can't hear through 2-foot granite walls. You must read that while you are sleeping. Okay, yeah, whatever. Now I really want to find it so I could show you. I definitely didn't read it while I was sleeping. It was somebody that was there. So I don't know if it was a video or if it was an article I read. I'm going to find it today because you just gave me some motivation. I'm not saying it's true, but somebody said that. Maybe they're lying. I don't know. But somebody said that was there that they could hear. Maybe they didn't have the door shut. Anyway, yeah. All right. So here is, hold on 1 second. Somebody put this together. Dang, if you guys want to wait, I'll try to find it with you on here, but I feel bad just going through my stuff, but dang it. I don't like people calling me a liar. I wonder if I can make this any bigger. Hold on. So now I think the most interesting thing of this whole thing is just, and I know people have already went over that, but I didn't realize that the hands, remember? supposedly the way Abby was with her arms. I didn't realize that even matched up to the legs to this hanging man. So somebody, I still don't know if she wants me to say her name. I was waiting for her to respond, but I want to give you a shout out is because I mean, did a pretty good job here. So she has, I mean, you can't deny that from what we heard of how Abby was positioned. I mean, that looks pretty gosh darn close to this, because this is the diagram that the person that saw it drew with the arms like that. I mean, so that's kind of interesting because I didn't realize the arms matched up too. And then this being the way Libby looked, which is pretty gosh darn close too. I know it is. And then, oh, I just wanted to show you. Well, I'll bring that up. I was gonna bring up the to compare what Court TV had. I found my screenshot just to show how different they had. But okay, so and then they have this, which is the need coming through challenge, stepping into manifestation. So they kind of did the two H's first of all, which could be you see what that says, and it says a shorthand for white supremacists. So it could be. I mean, who freaking knows what the intention? So that could be the two H's, and then they kind of like did some other ones that could match the runes. Which is this one, and then so this one because it's this one's longer, and then that's shorter, and then I guess. So you have the Gibo, gift, gratitude, exchange, receiving through sacrifice, offering. Wouldn't that be what this is? Is a sacrifice, an offering to their god, is what you would think that they would be if this was a ritual. I'm not saying I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not saying I think it is or not, but if it was, that would be a sacrifice, right? And then what is this? Coming through challenge, stepping into manifestation. So, and then what's the other ones here? Hold on. So she has it all like the hanged man, Odin's pose, reversed unnecessary sacrifice. The poses, hanged man card 12, magician card value 1 equals 13. So she does the basically adding them together is 13, which it happened on the 13th. So that's kind of interesting. See, 12, 1. So that's 13 together. And then the magician, which is this, is as above, so below pose. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. The reversed illusion. So the Hanged Man 12 is the 12th major arcana card. It depicts a Pictura Infaminati. I don't know how to say some of these words, sorry. An image of a man being hanged upside down by one ankle. This method of hanging was a common punishment at the time for traitors in Italy. In other interpretations, the hangman is a depiction of the Norse god Odin, who suspended himself from a tree in order to gain knowledge. This card is about being suspended between two worlds, heaven and earth, life and death. The person being suspended is contemplative and at peace. This is a card of the adept. It is about looking inward for answers and is the opposite of the magician card. Okay, so it's the opposite of this one. So they'd be the opposites, which is kind of interesting. Oh, thanks, Lauren. Hey, Stephanie. That's so sweet. I'm glad to see you out there still working on these cases. I believe in you and the purity of your purpose here. Thank you. Oh, that means a lot. Stephanie, what's up? Who else is here? I'll read the magician in a minute. Let me just say hi to a couple people. Oh, I'm not thin-skinned at all, buddy. If I was thin-skinned, I would have been I would have backed down long ago, and I would have been done long ago. Definitely not. I think I'm pretty thick-skinned, actually. If you only know some of the stuff I've been through, and I'm still going strong. Probably been through way more than you. No, I'm joking. That's not even nice to say. I know everybody has been through a lot, but um, no, it wasn't me thinking it was mean. It was me. It was you kind of calling me a liar. It sounded like you were calling me a liar. So I was like, I don't know. I'm not a liar. So I want to prove you wrong and prove that I did read it or see it somewhere. That's all. That's all. You should be happy that I want to show you because I'm not no liar. Anyway, hey, Dana loves me out. Maui. All right, so let me read the magician. So the magician is also known as the magus or the juggler, is the first trump or major arcana card. The magician features the infinity symbol over his head in an Ouroboros belt. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, remember? When was I talking about that? I think with this case. Both symbolize an eternity. The figure stands among a garden of flowers to imply the manifestation and cultivation of desires. The magician is depicted with one hand pointing upwards towards the sky and the other pointing downward to the earth, interpreted widely as an as above, so below, reference to the spiritual and physical realms. On the table before him are a wand and pentacle, right there. Hold on, I wish I could zoom in. I probably can. Here, hold on. There we go. Ooh, I've zoomed in too much. Hold on. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. Okay. Where are we at? A sword and a cup representing the four suits of the minor arcana. These are all tools of the magician. However, he doesn't yet know how to use them. This card is about the neophyte or initiate. The magician looks outward as if to play an audience. To play to an audience. The infinity symbols is a sideway number 8. Okay, so actually, let me go down a little bit here, or wrong way, this way. So let me read. So she even mapped this out. So I'm going backwards, I know. Okay, so Monday, Jupiter. So she does the magical timing chart. Waxing gibbous is at 3 p.m. In magical ceremonies, you need to take the date, the day of the week, the hour of the day, and the phase of the moon into consideration. Nothing about the day of the week nor the hour of the day matches up with magical work to Odin. If this were a sacrifice to Odin, it would have been done on Wednesday, Odin's day, at the hour of Mercury, 12 noon or 7 p.m. However, February 14th is the Norse holiday of Valisblot, which would correspond with Odin. We can't know if the moon phase is significant because you need to know the reason for the ceremony to determine what the moon phase should be. Okay. And then, sorry, I'm going backwards. February 13th, 2017. Yeah, we know that Valisblot, pagan and heathen holidays beginning the evening prior to the actual holiday. So Valisblot began the evening of the February 13th. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that. So it would be the prior. But Feast of Bali. Okay. So heathen kinship blessings equals Valley's blot. The Asatru Alliance of Independent Kindreds on their website says this feast originally celebrated the death of Hothar at the hands of Valley. At the heathen kinship, the blessing of Valley is a time to consider that it means to have vengeance and to honor Valley, the god who avenged the death of Boulder and on Hodor. I don't know. In the 33rd stanza of Valispa, it says, Rind will bear Valley in the western halls. That son of Odin will kill at the age of one night. He will not wash his hands or comb his head until he puts on the funeral pyre of Baldur's adversary. The Feast of Valley is also a good time to reflect on evil acts and hatreds that we hold in our hearts. It is a good time to just let these feelings go. It's also a time to decide which wrongs must be righted by the justice represented by Valley. And then it goes over white supremacist groups consider these dates and events important dates on the racist calendar. You have January 16th, Martin Luther King's birthday, also the date of Robert J. Matthews, leader of the Order, a white supremacist group dedicated to the overthrow of the U.S. government during the mid-1980s. April 19th, known as Waco Day, when the FBI forcibly ended the Branch Davidian standoff. Also the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. April 20th, Adolf Hitler's birthday. June 30th, Night of the Long Knives, when Hitler consolidated power by murdering rivals within his own party in 1934. August 17th, death of Rudolf Hess, Hitler's deputy Führer, who was the longest imprisoned Nazi criminal convicted at the International Military. Okay, because gangs to burn down. So November 9th and 10th, and I don't know how to say that. Anniversary of Kristallnacht, Night of Broken Glass. So Nazi Germany ordered gangs to burn down hundreds of synagogues, destroy property, and attack Jewish citizens. Then you have November 25th, members of the order signed a declaration of war against the government of the United States in 1984. December 8th, known as Martyrs' Day, anniversary of the death of Robert Matthews, leader of the order. February is Black History Month. June is Gay and Lesbian Pride Month. Okay. Huh. I don't know. Kind of interesting, but I think what the most interesting thing is this stuff right here, how they were both positioned the same. I mean, dang, that definitely is interesting that Abby and then the horns on this one too. So Abby, I mean, it was like exactly the arms, the legs, the horns up there, like what? And then Libby too. I'm sorry, it's weird. And then the HH now is kind of interesting. Shorthand for white supremacists. So could they both be two H's and then runes on top of them? I don't know. This one is, I feel like, the most interesting, the Gibo, because it's receiving through sacrifice offering. So it's a gift gratitude exchange. So it'd be like a gift that they were offering, a sacrifice. And you notice when Patrick Westphal, if you guys watch those interviews, he doesn't deny that people in Asatru do that. He just puts it on the lower, or what does he call that? Oh, I have to listen to it again, but he puts it on like the lower, like the people that he says, oh, I don't associate with them. He said that, what's his name? Messer, he puts as that. If you notice that he calls Messer one of those that would do stuff like that. So he doesn't actually say that none of them do offer. He says he worships, how did he say that? He doesn't do it. Like the people that he hangs around with, or the people that he, dang it, I'm trying to think how he described that. So Asatru, and then Loki, I think he said, the Loki or whatever. He said they are on the lowest, and they would be the ones that would offer like human sacrifice and stuff. So, and he said Messer, he was like more that, and Messer was one of the people that was named. So, it doesn't sound like it's not something that none of them do. It sounds like, yeah, there could be a group that does that, you know. I want to listen to those interviews again. I listened to all of the first one, and then I didn't quite finish the second one, the one that was in the video. I have to finish that one. But, and also, how many of you guys watched that interview? I also think it's interesting that he says that he is pretty hardcore on it, because the reason him and Brad don't talk anymore is because Brad was going to a Christian church on the weekend, like on Sunday or whenever. He was going to a Christian church, you know, on the weekend with his family, and then he would come and do Asatru with him. And he says, no, you can't do that. You're either all in or all out. So he's pretty hardcore, you know. And so Brad said, okay, I'm out then. And remember, this was right around the time of the murder. So it was like, they're like talking all the way up to February. And then all of a sudden it happened sometime in February. They get in this thing where now they're done. He's okay. I mean, so it does make you wonder, was it something else? Was it because Brad was there, saw what they did or knew what they did and was like, I'm not all for this. Like maybe Brad was the one that was like, no, like this isn't right and I'm out. It could be something like that. I have no idea. Um, I mean, I'm not sold on it, but I'm still open to it. But here is the sucky thing though. Now it seems like you either believe in the Odinism thing or and that it was a ritual, or you have to believe Richard did it. You know what I'm saying? Now I feel like there's no in-betweeners. Like it's either people think this ritual stuff's crazy, so then no, it's Richard Allen. And then if you don't believe in it, then you have to believe in the Odinism. But what about there's like other possible situations that could be not Richard, but maybe it isn't a ritual. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just something else. But it doesn't mean because it doesn't have to be like this Odin ritual or Richard, So I feel like that's kind of a thing now. It's like, oh, if you don't think that it's this ritual, then you have to think Richard did it. But I think there's other options. And also it could be those guys could be involved and it might not be a ritual too. You know what I'm saying? It could be different options. Like what if Patrick and Elvis or Messer or whatever was involved, but it wasn't like necessarily a ritual. Who freaking knows? And now I'm afraid we're never gonna know. Actually, let me go through some of those other screenshots that I never got to the other day when I was doing a live. Remember, I never got to finish those. Might as well do that I have you, and then I'll bring Zeke over. Zeke, come here, buddy. All right, hold on one second. Let me bring him up. All right, let's do. Oh yeah, this one here. Look at, or hold on. I think I have it in this one. Yeah, here we go. All right, just finished going through some of these screenshots that I just going through groups. They're not new, but just going through different groups. I just saved some things that I thought were kind of interesting. This just shows obviously the two pictures. But I didn't even think about that. And I think Anthony, I was watching yours and it made me realize when I was watching your reenactment, I never thought about that if it's the whole narrative of your reenactment, how if it was Richard and he was standing here at the on the bridge, and then if your reenactment is accurate, kind of like, is it right here? Well, how come we don't see him in the picture? Is he hiding somewhere, do you think? Wouldn't he be in the picture if he was up on that first platform or whatever you call it? Right? Wasn't that where he was when the one witness has seen him? So what does he like walk back and then hide? What when she takes a picture? Because this picture would be going that way, right? Or am I wrong? Because I feel like you pointed that out, right, Anthony? How you can't see him in there. So why? I mean, it's kind of interesting that where did he go then? Did he back up? Because the one with Abby would be the other way, right? Or wait, am I backwards here? This one is the one that we'd be able to see him, right? Yeah. You do see some kind of shadow right there. And this is, help me out here. Why does this look like it's the same direction though? I'm pretty sure I was watching and I'm pretty sure you were saying this is the other direction and then this is the direction backwards, right? Is that, look, that shadow, is that anything or no? I'm sure people have analyzed this like crazy, but it almost looks like two little shadows. I don't know. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That you can't see it. And then, okay, hold on. Let me see what else I have here. Oh yeah. So here's that thing that, oh, wait, hold on. Let me open it with the photos that I still don't know. Is there any truth to the whole thing where he stole something? So it says they dug up the yard last night per the neighbor. Neighbor had reported that Richard stole something and the cops came to look for it and apparently found evidence for the double homicide. They arrested him at work at CVS this morning. They've known about him for a while. Keegan Klein ratted him out as a second user of the Anthony shots. That's just somebody assumption, obviously. We don't know that for sure, but somebody's just guessing. And then the whole thing where it says a family friend told us that Richard voluntarily checked himself into a local mental hospital days after the murder for a 30-day treatment. That's going around in groups from like way back. So I don't know if there's any truth to that too, because that would be a huge red flag if he really did check himself into a mental hospital. Don't know, but I still can't figure out if about the story. Yeah, I still have not figured out, because I'm wondering if that is what freaking set, like, is that what gave them, wait, no, because they had the warrant. So yeah, see, we just don't know. There's still so many things we don't know of how that all happened. And then for those of you that's that watch Patrick's Westfalls, I know Marv brought it up, how it does kind of sound like he's saying that they never met, but I explained to Marv, I think Patrick Westfall in his interview was saying that he didn't think he thought Logan and Abby's relationship was all online, but what I was thinking he meant is that, because obviously they're together here, so they definitely met. I'm thinking he just meant that most of them talking was online, and then they, when they got together, most of their interaction was online. Unless if he was wrong. I mean, unless if he really thought they never met, but they obviously did. So that's not right. Wait, what was in 2015? Yeah. The picture? Yeah, I don't know when the picture was from. I'm just saying they obviously met if they're in the picture together. Oh, this is just the statement I put. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, that was just that thing that they put up. Hold on. So this is the thing that's kind of interesting right here. And I don't know if there's any truth to this, but so it says, why were the police too busy to check out where the screams were coming from if they were searching for 2 lost children? So somebody said, me and my friend stayed out from 8 p.m. with the search party till the girls were found the next day. Around 2 a.m., we ended up calling the sheriff's office because we heard screams coming from the other side of the bridge. They said that all of the officers, and of course, this is a screenshot, so I couldn't push see more to see what the rest was. It's so frustrating because I want to see what they said, but I don't know. Just said all the officers, and then this person says, from the other side of the Monon Bridge, you said you heard more at 6 a.m. Was this also screams? Screams as in hollering, yelling, horror? What types of screams? It says, was when more people showing up hollering the girls' names. 2 a.m. is when the horror screams happened. So they're saying that in the morning, people were, hollering the girls' names, but at 2 a.m., that they heard horror screams, and they called the police to come help look again, but they were all busy at the moment. So don't know if there's any truth to that. And who said that, but it says, sounded like the screams came from across the bridge and around the curve to the right of the river. Under the bridge. Yes, the high bridge. Pretty interesting. I sent a picture of the bridge that shows the shadows behind Abby. Oh, okay. Where'd you send it? I thought didn't you say on your video that they didn't show anything or not? Or you were just talking about it? Hold on, let me see. You sent it where? Hold on, guys, give me 1 minute. Let me see. Since we're talking about that, we'll go through the rest of the screenshots, but let me see if I could see where Anthony sent that to me. Oh, is it TikTok? Hold on 1 second. So, okay, the picture on the left is taken first. That's facing the direction that they are heading. Okay, so it's the one with Abby, and it is because that would make sense because she'd be walking this way. Yeah, once they get to the platform, 3 Libby turned around and took the photograph of Abby, which actually shows the beginning of the bridge and the first platform where Richard was standing as they approach. So he disappeared, and he didn't have enough time to get across the bridge before that picture was taken. Wait. So you're saying he didn't have enough time to get all the way, so we are seeing a shadow of him? Am I taking that right? But let me see what video you sent me. Hold on. All right, here I could. Okay, hold on. Let me play it. I have to. So this is Anthony's TikTok. Hold on one second, Anthony. Let me reshare my screen so I could do the audio. I should have brought it up over here so I don't have to redo it. All right, let's play it. Okay, let me know if you guys could make sure you guys could hear this.
During the crime, there was actually an orange barricade that sat right in this general area, along with a pine tree. But now the orange barricade has been moved to over there. But that is actually seen in an Inside Edition video where they claimed that it was possibly the suspect stalking the girls. But in fact, it wasn't the suspect. You were just seeing that orange barricade combined with the tree to make it look like there was a shadowy figure standing back here behind Abby and this photograph that you're looking at on the screen.
And could there be a tantalizing clue in this poignant last photograph taken of 13-year-old Abigail Williams by her best friend? Look, in the distance, some see a shadowy figure. Is that the killer stalking the girl?
The shadowy figure that you see here is actually not the suspect. It is an orange barricade.
Yeah.
There is one located on each side of the bridge.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right on that. Definitely. It looks, because it looks like there's two shadows, and we know it wouldn't be two. We could see two, so that makes sense if that's that. So you're saying he was on that first platform, and then before they took the picture, he was able to hurry up and get off. So that probably was so suspicious, because think about it. The girls see him as they walk past him, right? And then all of a sudden they take a picture, they see that he's gone. And then all of a sudden he hurries up across the bridge like that. I mean, imagine how creeped out you would be, because it's like, where did he go for a couple minutes? Like, why did he disappear? And then he comes back over, which he probably did go make sure nobody else was coming, is what I'm right. Don't you think? Because he was about to go chase them over, and wow. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you don't here. You definitely can see something. I'll show you here, Stephanie. I'll zoom in so you can see it bigger. Hold on one second. You definitely see it. So I believe you, Anthony. That's exactly what it looks like to me too. Hold on. Let me bring up that picture real quick. Hey, yeah. We don't know that's Arya on the bridge. Seems like at least one eyewitness would have mentioned BG. Well, that's a good point, because we still don't know if that's good point. We still don't know if that's even RA, but we do know it was the guy. Yeah, it was the bridge guy, that there was somebody there though. So whoever that was standing there. So either way, it was some creepy guy, right? That was there, disappeared for a minute, and then came back, probably started walking pretty fast across the bridge again. Oh yeah, I know. I hope we're able to see the full thing, but I don't think we're ever going to be able to see it. Do you think they'll play it at the trial? Okay, so here's the shadows right here. I definitely see it, but can you not see it on here, guys? Like, here's one and here's one. There's two. Why did they take that off? Wait a minute, Anthony. You're saying there's a barricade where you have to climb over it to get to the bridge back then? Or no? Well, I don't understand what you're saying, Anthony, you're confusing me when you keep saying that, though. I mean, we know obviously he didn't, because he came up after. So I mean, why would he have went before them? I'm confused. Now I feel like I'm not understanding, because without Abby taken, then he disappeared. Yeah, he didn't have time, so he would have just stayed there. I'm guessing he would have stayed there as they passed, and then he backed up and went off the bridge to the left. I'm guessing. I don't know. Who knows? All right, let me go through the rest of my screenshots here. So yeah, the screams, I don't know. What do you guys make of those? Do you think that there's any truth to that? Anthony, have you heard anybody know who is the people that said that they heard screams at 2 a.m.? Oh, here's some messages between Brad and somebody else. So somebody says to Brad, the only part I didn't like is when you were joking about Sasquatch, because seriously, Libby was nearly decapitated. What do people around there really think happened to them? You know, Libby's dad and Cody and all of those people had a bad reputation before any of this ever happened. When they got out of the car and Kelsey drives away, I wonder where the bridge guy is at the moment. And Brad says, well, if she was nearly decapitated, you sure couldn't tell at the viewing, because they were both open casket. I took my son Logan to the viewing so he could say goodbye. That was horrible. My son was a mess. So if I offended you, that wasn't my intention. I was trying to point out how much people jump to conclusions when they don't even really know what happened. I don't live, and then this is Brad again saying, I don't live in Delphi. I live in Logansport, and I'm not really sure what everyone thinks. The FBI and state police questioned me because Libby and my son were friends. From what I've gathered from friends that were in jail at the time, is that everyone in jail thought it was a hit. I'm not going to speculate on that because rumors are rumors, nothing more. A hit? I don't know. What does that mean? Look at it again. Oh, you're saying he was in the, oh, you're saying that you could see him in that. Now I understand what you're saying. Hold on a second. So that is from the same angle. Wait, he didn't have enough time to cross the entire bridge, even before the picture without Abby was taken. Then he disappeared in the picture. Wait, I thought you said the picture without Abby was the other direction. But now that's what I thought you originally said, but I guess I was wrong. Okay, so let me go back and look at it. So you're saying that this is before, or this is the same direction. That's what I was wondering, because it looked like it was the same, but I thought you were saying it wasn't. So you're saying he's still in this picture? I don't see anybody though. I don't even see that shadow that you see on this one. And this one's even closer. I don't know. I don't see it though. You're saying you could see Richard in here? It's too blurry. It's weird though, because this one looks like a different day. This looks like it's like snow and frost on the trees. And this one looks like fall day. I don't understand why they look so different days. Did somebody put a filter on that? Yeah, I don't either. I don't even see these shadows here, but it almost looks like a different day, dude. It's weird. Huh. All right, I'm going to go back to the screenshots. We'll finish reading. See what I got. I don't even remember what's on here. I just know I didn't get to finish reading them last time. Oh, it's saying someone found an old post online about the Delphi murders. Some guy 2 years ago said it was a Richard, a name that was never mentioned by police or online sleuths. Someone out there likely knew or suspected this guy for years. That's weird. And here's the post. It's from Sunday, Sunday, February 23rd, 2020. Okay, so this is before Richard's arrest, and it says, "What you fail to interpret about small town civics is the manner in which fall into each other in a public square. One cannot find happiness or fortitude with a simple game and keep their daughters safe from such predators. This man will get away with everything. I didn't want to come out and say it, but I lived in Delphi for years, and without a doubt, Richard is not well known in the town. I have been monitoring the thread. City dwellers do not understand how such a place works or a local police kinship without community dealings unto its in self and more. Please do not ask me why the simple man rules outward." Huh. Wait, I don't think officers will release a picture with BG behind the girls. Oh, yeah. You are confusing me. I was gonna say. I thought you said it was a different direction. But then, yeah, he definitely wouldn't be in there because that would be the other side of the bridge. It's okay. Because that's what I thought you said on your video, that it was a different direction. That's why. I can't tell by looking at it, but I trusted that since you're familiar with it. But oh yeah, I already read this part. I wish it would just let me go. Look, it will not let me scroll over, and I don't know why. So this is Tara German. It says, Douglas Rice, I can say when I got there, were a few kids that I knew that went to school with Libby, and they were under the bridge as well. So I'm going to say that this is not uncommon. Oh, maybe I did read. I did read some of these. I remember now. Oh, this is Tony Liggett for sheriff. Okay, somebody's talking to Tony Liggett. So Amy says, "Can you please explain why the height and weight have disappeared from the flyer looking for the person that took Libby and Abby's lives in Delphi 2017? Tia for responding." And he says, Tony Liggett says, "Not sure about the disappearing part of your question. If it has disappeared, it shouldn't have been there to start with. When the sketch was released, a height weight was not released. That is an FBI flyer. My best answer is above. If they have changed their flyer, you should contact them. I will also talk to them. Thanks for pointing it out." So it says, "I answered a question of yours earlier today. The witness that saw him leaving did not report the blue jacket. He only described the short-billed hat and the scarf or whatever it was over his lower face. When he saw Libby's first pic, he was sure, however, that was who he saw. He spoke only twice about what he saw nearly 2 years ago and would speak no more for whatever reason." I don't know what that's talking about. Does anybody know that somebody... Oh, wonder if... So did BG ditch some clothing? The early witness described him to law enforcement before she saw Libby's pics, exactly like the pics except the scarf. Hold on a second. I forget what... So I don't know if this is... What about this one, Anthony? Have you heard this rumor? Is there anything about the because I remember hearing about this back then too, but I don't know if there's any truth. So it says, "I've heard from several people at work that they spoke to another woman at work whose sister lives in a house that is right by the trail's entrance. Apparently the woman who lives there let her dog out. It was barking a lot, and she looked out and saw the girls passing by, followed by two boys with hoods up. She said the boys looked around the girl's age. No mention of those boys from any news though." Yeah, no, I know. So you definitely wouldn't be able to see him in the one face in the other direction, is my point. So it would be the other direction. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So the one's facing where they're going, which he's behind them, and the other one you're saying he already somehow he backed out and was hiding probably behind a tree or up the trail before they took that picture. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Go look. I seen them. You seen what, Stephanie? Hold on. Their screen. Okay, wait. Very weird. Hold on. Rick Allen was in Facebook groups talking about the murders before anyone knew who he was. Wait, can you send me a link to where? Which groups? I definitely want to see that. Can you send me at least like a link to the group or something? There's so many Delphi groups. I'm in a lot of them, but I can't join them all. There's like so many, and there's so many new ones that popped up too. Hi, Clyde, I hope. So I don't know if there's any truth to this. 2 boys following them, but it could just be all crap. But I just think it's interesting to hear different things to see what the heck. Because we don't know. I mean, we've heard. I feel like we don't even know what's what with this case. You know, now we're hearing in that the memorandum that some of the witnesses didn't see what was in the PCA, and it's just like, oh, he had a tan jacket on, he wasn't bloody, he was muddy. He what was some of the other things? Oh, about the timing and the car. It wasn't a Ford. It wasn't black. The one, you know what I'm saying? The one witness said it wasn't black. The other one said, or the same witness said it was that one weird looking car, the old car. So I don't even know what to believe. Derek placed his first call around 3:07. How much later was this? 3:11, he called to say he was coming down the road. 3:13, he was there. He waited and called several times, called me and asked Tara and I to try calling her. He was walking by 3:30. I can say when I got there, there were a few kids that I knew that went to school with Libby, and they were under the bridge as well. So I'm going to say that this is not uncommon. Oh, that's the one that Tara said. You also find fishy if there were that many leaks and none of them got out. Actually, for anyone to actually see them, I find that strange. Wait, what do you mean? My 3 sons? To no one to see who? The girls, you mean? Did Derek know the couple under the bridge? At the time after the gentleman told him only a man and woman. Yeah, and then you said, Tony, it was actually 2 guys, right? It wasn't a man and a woman, right? What about the couple? Do not know if they were coming forward. Derek never saw the couple. Last time girls visited the bridge, it had been a while since they were there. It was winter. The only reason they were there the day is because unreasonable. Okay, hold on that. Some of these I don't know why I even saved them. Hold on. It says the April sketch was a man seen down at the SN that afternoon. It came from a lady that lives on 625. I was told about it quite a ways back, but remember, these are old posts by another member in this group. I thought it was irrelevant, and I was beyond surprised when law enforcement released it. I believe it has no bearing whatsoever on this case. And we know when the new sketch came out of the younger looking one, they sometimes there was things said like disregard the first one, focus on the other one. So there could be some truth about this. But I like going back and reading old stuff. Like after learning about everything and like having so much more information and then going back and going through all like old posts and kind of they could take on new meanings. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to at least go through them. But yeah, all these would be like old ones that were in some of the groups. Remind me to show you guys Zeke before I end the live. We need to generate a list of names of our suspects. Start. So remember, this is an old post. Somebody said start off some of the thing. I can't even read this. And one of the people on here is Brad Holder, Ron Logan, Brett something, Jerome Weiss, Brad Weber. That was that guy they were talking about that had that they took his 40 caliber Sig Sauer and that what was the other thing? that he wouldn't let Julie and bring an investigator on his land, and he was the one that was at the house, Weber's house. His mom was on vacation, so he would have been there that day that it happened, which I did want to look more into him. Eric, or wait, was it Matt or Brad? There's 2 Webers. Now I don't know which son was there. Oh my God, Anthony, you're on this list. I didn't even notice that. Oh my God. Wow. Cody Patty. It's just interesting though. So this is like way back. These are the people that they have on the list. So before Richard was arrested. So you have Tyler French, Keegan Collins. I don't know, Dustin something, Phil. It's hard to read some of this. Megan Allen, or the McCain brothers, Jessica Allen, maybe, or Jeff Rogan, or is it Lee Horde? Mexican Cartel, Lesenby, Anthony. Oh my God. I know. I want to see Bear Marshmallow. Did anybody send me? I want to see the people that. Is he going under? So you're saying the people, Richard Allen in the groups, is he going by Richard Allen? Is his name Richard Allen? Or why do we think it's Richard Allen in the groups? Can somebody help me out on that? Yeah, this is about the audio where you hear the creepy guy. You could hear Libby saying, talking about where to go. And then the next thing was down the hill, which hopefully we will be able to hear. We'll be able to see that one day for ourselves. All right. Oh, here's that one with, remember I was talking about the Cody Patty that people were think he's saying it was rap lyrics. Remember, Ashley, you were on, we were talking about it, where it's like, bro, she's only 14, and says, but she know how to twerk it though. Her daddy said to have her home by 10. I said, but I'm not trying to be her friend. I'm just really trying to get it in. And so people were like talking about how this guy is like a predator, or just that's horrible because there's one line that says something about how he got her pregnant or whatever. And so he's saying, no, it was just rap lyrics that we were quoting. So I don't know. I think it does sound like rap lyrics to me though, guys. Here's the, now the only weird thing is him telling 2 different places where he was. So I guess he said that he was at work, and then I guess Kelsey on an interview or something, Kelsey's like, wait, I thought you said you were with Michael. And then you hear Becky saying how when she came home, she's like, I'm going to go search for Libby. And he was there, and he said, here, let me go with you. So I don't know where he was, but I'm not saying I think he's involved. I don't even know anything about him, really. He's just Libby's uncle. They adopted him. So he's like her adopted uncle. Here's the other one. Bro, she's 14. And he said, it's hard to find that baby is mine. I only nutted in her one time. So people were going off about how like, oh my God, like he's hooking up with the 14. He got a 14-year-old pregnant. But I really do think it's just a rap lyrics, guys. Oh, wait a minute. I saw that. I saw those. I think I have those. I just didn't. I was like, why is Rick Allen Hill? I'm like, who is that? I might have saved him somewhere. Hold on a second. I had him. And I think I might have deleted him because I was like, who's this Hill? Like, what I thought is somebody thought it was Richard Allen, and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They were like thinking it was him. So they were trying to talk to him, and it wasn't. I didn't know. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I could find those. Wow. Yes. I definitely saw those. I don't even remember what they said because I didn't take them that seriously because I just thought it was somebody that people were thinking it was him when he had like a different name. Yes, you did too? Okay. Hi, Laura Lou. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me go get Zeke so you guys can say hi to him. And then what was I needed to look for? Oh, where I read where it said Kathy went back and talked to Richard, and you could hear like sniffling and like what sounded like crying. That's right. Maybe I'll make a short if I find it later. I know it's gross. It is like it's, but I could. Doesn't it sound like rap lyrics? It doesn't sound like a conversation that somebody having like with their friend, and it was legit. Like I believe it does sound like rap lyrics. Now there might be some other shady things about him, but like that, I don't think is enough to think that he's like some predator guy. But maybe there's other stuff. Don't know. But hold on. That's another thing I wanted to look at for the ejection marks. I haven't looked into that. So that, hold on, Richard. What was the other thing that I'm going to look into? Oh, okay. Before you guys leave, Jonathan, if you're listening, so this was his idea. So he got me watching this podcast. So he had a good idea, and I think it's a good idea, and I think you guys will really enjoy it because I've been really like into it. So there's this podcast from like 6 or 7 years ago. It's called Serial Podcast. They talk about Adnan. What's his last name? Anyway, he got released. He was accused of murdering his girlfriend. He got released, and Serial Podcast was like a big thing that was a big podcast that was talking about that case. And going through it, and it's very interesting. So most people think that he probably really did do it, but they released him, and I'm not sure if they're going to have a new trial. They might have a new trial. So Jonathan had a good idea of maybe what, like you guys watching it, us watching it. I'm not going to play the podcast because that I'm sure I get copyrighted, but like each week, like be like, okay, watch episode 1, and then we'll talk about it the next day or something, or maybe do it every week. We'll talk about each episode, and trying to find like if like because that was like that podcast was like 6 years ago, and then we could like bring if we find any new information, or maybe arguing some of the stuff they said, or kind of going through it and figuring out. It's really interesting. Would you guys be interested in doing that? It's an interesting case. And it could be relevant because I mean they might actually give him another trial. They could arrest him again. They could charge him again. I mean, he's out, but there's evidence. I mean, there's the one guy, his friend, is the one saying that he helped him basically bury her. He told him that he killed her and all this stuff. So, but there's not a ton of other physical evidence, but I'm still going through it. So I don't know. I'm still only going through the Serial Podcast, and I still want to go kind of find the documents, go through the trial transcripts, and kind of learn the case and see. So I don't know. Would you guys be interested? Let me know. Maybe we could start it next week where we'll pick a day, but then you guys will have to watch the episode. But I'm telling you guys, you'll be listening to one, and you'll probably want to keep listening before, because I'll probably do maybe one every week. So watch one every week and then come back and we'll discuss it. But you guys will probably keep watching him, and you'll probably have them watched, before one every week, because I'm telling you, they're very interesting. You want to like keep listening. It's just a podcast, so you just listen. But yeah, so let's do that because it could be an important case. So, it happened like 20 years ago. So he was in jail for a long time, and then because of this podcast and different people, fighting for him, thinking he's innocent, that he got released under, basically under, I forget what they call it. I'll have all these information when we start it, but basically they might give him a new trial, or they could I don't know if they were able to just put him back in jail without having the trial. But all right, let me get Zeke, and then I think I am going to end it. Hold on one second. I forget what they call. Hold on. Zeke, above us. I love you. Oh, I'm going to come hang out with my boy. Oh, okay. It's just me and Zeke today, so I'll just be sitting on the couch and I'll be looking up stuff. Say hi, buddy. How cute is my little guy? I love him. He's waiting patiently for me on the bed, but he wants me to come hang out with him. Because he usually is never by himself. He always has my grandma if I'm not around, so he needs me. He needs me because Grandma gone for the night. Grandma gone for the night, isn't she, Bubs? How cute is this boy? How cute is this boy? He's the cuddliest boy in the world. The enhanced image to Ron Logan. Yeah, I have before. I don't know if I've done it on a video, but trust me, I like off. A lot of the stuff I did with Delphi, I did like off video because, like I said, I wasn't when I started wanting to look into it. Now I looked into it around the time when it first happened, but then like a couple of years ago, probably like 4 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I wanted to, do like a deep dive and like really get into that case. And I did a couple videos. I think I did 3, and I wasn't very well received in the community. So I was like, it's not worth it. But I still was looking into it. So I did what I came to conclusion with Ron Logan. Now there is, a lot of stuff like those new documents that came out a few years ago. Those were very like, whoa, was it Ron? Is it Ron? But I feel like when you compare Bridge Guy to Ron, his body, like I feel like why does his body style look a little bit different? But it could be the hat. They showed him like in the picture where the hat looks really similar. But the thing is, now would he be that stupid to wear that same hat in an interview, like shortly after, wear the same hat he was wearing? It possibly could have DNA on it. In an interview after, the same hat he was wearing to kill the girls, like that just seems really stupid. So that's the other thing. I'm like, there's no way somebody would be that stupid. Because one of the things is like how the hat looks really similar. I just don't think somebody would be that stupid. Well, but I don't know. I mean, it was on, the property and it. Why, you guys think that maybe it was Ron? I don't know, Jackie. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Which enhancement? There's a lot of different pictures. Which one are you talking about? Which enhancement? I'm not sure. Face enhancement. You posted it in your which video, Jackie? Narrow it down to at least tell me which video so I could think. But I feel like in a lot of my videos, I'll post all the screenshots I have of BD. So I don't know for sure if I could answer that. Who did the enhancement? Yeah, you'll have to give me more information on what you're talking about. But I don't put it in your video from a few years ago. I think I know which one you're talking about. Is it the one where it's just like from the chest up? Is it not the whole body? I don't know who did that. I don't know, but that's one of my favorite ones, if that's the one you're talking about. But it's not his whole body. It's just like from here up. Don't know. I have no idea who did it. Just going around like, when you go through different groups and stuff, I just found it somewhere. I didn't do that one, if that's the one you're talking about. I did do some. I did a couple like couple of the ones, the whole body, but yeah, the one what was a close up, no. Oh, wait, which one then? Now you're making me think it's not that one. Huh. Is it his whole body or just from the chest up? If it's his whole body, it might have been me. I don't know. Unless if you're talking about the one that's like, where you could kind of just see like, yeah, send it to me because I don't have any idea which one you're talking about. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Okay, the serial podcast. So let's just start it. Let's do you guys, let me share you the link. So for the next video, let's do it. Hold on. What's a good day and time? You guys, and I'll pick a day and time, and then let's do it this week. You guys have the first episode done. And if you want to listen to more, do it up. But we'll do episode by episode. So let's do maybe Wednesday, maybe at 8. Let's do Wednesday at 8. Listen to Serial Podcast episode 1. At least have the first one watched, and we could discuss that. I almost want to say, I'm trying to think, should we do just one at a time? Or more than one at a time? Hold on. Oh, cool, Missy. So we're on Tuesday night. I'm gonna do a live with Missy. Misbehaved. She's been cover the Delphi case. So yeah, she just messaged me. So yeah, Tuesday we'll do Delphi 8 p.m. with Missy. And then Wednesday. Now I'm thinking maybe we should do Thursday for this serial. Hold on. Let me see how long each episode is. Give me 1 minute. It's interesting, guys. You guys are going to like this case. And it's one of those things that's just like, we don't know. Like, now, like I said, since the only thing I've seen on this case so far is this podcast. But I remember, you guys, don't just listen to one viewpoint. So if you want to, like, while you're listening to the podcast, if you want to like do a little bit of research offhand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. So if you want to just wait and listen to, what I find or whatever, because I'm going to try to see if there's refuting evidence, you know what I'm saying, with what she's finding, if there's stuff that's goes against it, because I know from the West Memphis 3 freaking documentaries, Making a Murderer documentaries, that if you just watch that, and then you might think one thing, but if you go do research and look into other stuff, it's not just one viewpoint, you might be surprised what you find, and you might not, because they're well done stuff, right? But on both of those, I think I took the other viewpoint after I looked into it. And I know that hold on 1 second. I know thinking Stephen Avery is guilty is not the popular view because the making of a murderer, and because he was mischarged. What is the word? That's not the right term. Whatever. He was charged for the R before, and they were wrong. So he's wrongly charged for that and convicted. But I do think he killed Teresa. I do. I think he did it. Now, I'm not saying I think his nephew had anything to do with it. I think his nephew falsely gave a false confession in a way. Did his nephew see something? Did he? I don't know. But I feel like it doesn't mean, just because I think Stephen did it, doesn't mean that his nephew had to have been involved too. I know it's not the popular opinion, but I looked into some stuff, and I think, I haven't done it in a while, but maybe we should look into that. I have to find all this research I did. And I think West Memphis 3, I think they did it. I really do. All right, so let me find serial. Hold on. What was I looking up? What was I gonna look up? I forget. Okay, Betsy Faria. Wait. Is that a case that you're saying you think is related? I'm gonna write it down. I will. Okay. Hey Plankton, Austin, what up? Yeah. So Tuesday at like around 8, I'm gonna do a live stream with Miss Behaved. Now it sounds like she has some different viewpoints on everything. So it sounds like the stuff she thinks is I don't agree with, but it's just all of our opinions. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like having people on that do have a different viewpoint. So yeah. And then let's do Thursday for Serial Podcast. Who's texting me? Hold on. Oh, you could? How though? That's weird. Okay. Actually, I got your message, but I'm confused. Oh, on his collar. Oh, it's okay. That was actually that's yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna send the link to that podcast. So guys, wait. I wanted to see how long it was. That's what I was looking up. If we could do like 2. Hold on one second. Should we do 1 or 2? I feel like 1 a week. You guys are gonna end up watching way more than 1 a week, and then I know you will. Hold on. Serial. So why don't you? Yeah, they're about an hour. Yeah, they're about an hour long. We'll at least have 1, okay? At least do 1 by Thursday. Do 1, and then we'll look it over. Here, let me send you 1 second. All right. So here is episode 1. Now, remember, like I said, if you want to do more, that's fine. But it grabs your attention really good. All right, hold on. Let me find my podcast or my I think it'll be fun, guys. It'll give us something else to look into, and it's relevant because there might be a trial. I mean, they don't know they don't know what they're going to do with him. You know what I'm saying? He might have done it, or he might not have. I don't know yet because I haven't looked into it enough yet. I'm still watching. I'm on episode 8 right now, so I still have to, like I said, look into other viewpoints, and I'm going to try to find like the documents and stuff and trial transcripts. Okay, so here's episode 1, and then we'll do it Thursday at like 8. Adnan Saeed is his name. What's next for? Oh wow, I didn't realize Court TV did a video. What's next for Adnan? Reinstated his murder conviction. Oh wait, see, I didn't even know in March. Hold on a second. Wait, he's not. But I think he's still out. I thought Jonathan said he was still out. Oh wait, attorney's appeal convict. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. We should just watch that. Hold on. You guys, we should watch it now. What do you think? Or maybe wait till we talk about it. But I want to kind of watch it to get you guys involved at Court TV and see. What do you guys think? I hope. Oh, you watch it anyway? Okay, Stephanie. Yeah, hold on a second. Maybe we should watch that because I don't know what's current going on. Jonathan is the one, Prezosaurus or whatever. He's the one that got me into this case, and it was his idea. So I swear I swear he said he's out. I mean, he's not back in jail yet. So hold on. Let's see what Court TV says. Hold on 1 second. Do you guys want to watch that and just see what's the current? Maybe it'll get you involved. Now, serial podcasting, it's so, I'm telling you guys, it's not boring at all. And I'm not a big podcast watcher. Like, I like to see visual stuff, but I'm like glued to it. Like, it's so enjoyable to listen, and you follow it and you're just like, whoa, what's going on? Like I said, I'm going to go through other evidence to see. Right now, it seems like she's not leaning one way or another. Now, Jonathan makes it seem like it's like the whole reason he gets out is because of her podcast. So I don't know, but right now she's not, like, she's very, like, I feel like fair. She's like, ooh, did he do it? Didn't he? So I don't know if by the end she leans more one way. I don't know, but I still want to, like, do my own research. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me send this to me. You guys want to watch it? It's 11 minutes long. It's Court TV. So it kind of shows us what's current. It's from 4 months ago to what's next for Adnan and Saeed. Let's see here. Yeah, hold on. Let me bring it up and we'll just watch it. I'm going to watch it anyway, and might as well watch it with you guys. Maybe get you guys involved and to make you want to watch the serial podcast. All right, 1 second. And I hear Zeke barking. So I will have to go after this for sure. All right.
The justice. You can wait. Hey, we'll wait. We'll wait.
Well, maybe it's just as when he got out, and that's why they worded it like
Adnan
that.
Syed walking out, a free man, after his murder conviction was tossed, and it was the prosecutor's idea, by the way. Marilyn Mosby, at the time, the former state attorney for Baltimore, Maryland. What a conclusion, right? The Serial Podcast is the true crime podcast that put podcasting like on the map, became a phenomenon, and then he's released. But then, subsequent to that, all of a sudden, things turned around a little bit. Take a listen. This is Mallory Sophostai from our great affiliate WMAR with the rest of the story.
The Maryland Court of Appeals is essentially ordering a do-over of the hearing that vacated Syed's conviction last fall. Syed was first convicted of murdering his ex-girlfriend Hayman Lee back in 2000. That conviction was vacated in October when former state's attorney Marilyn Mosby filed a motion to vacate after an investigation by her office uncovered new evidence undermining that conviction. However, Hayman Lee's brother, Young Lee, said his rights were violated when he wasn't given enough time to attend that hearing in person. Lee lives in California. The state notified him 1 business day before the hearing was scheduled. The Maryland Court of Appeals issued its decision siding with Lee. In a 2-1 decision, Judge Graff wrote, quote, because the court violated Mr. Lee's right to notice of and his right to attend the hearing on the state's motion to vacate, we have the power and obligation to remedy that injury. That remedy is a new legally compliant, transparent hearing on the motion to vacate where Mr. Lee is given notice of the hearing that is sufficient to allow him to attend in person. The court said this mandate would be delayed for 60 days to allow both parties time to decide how they want to proceed. We've reached out to the state's attorney's office. We're told they're reviewing the decision and will allow the appeals process to play itself out. Syed and his legal team can appeal this decision to the Maryland Supreme Court.
And they have. But what does that mean? What is going on with this case? It's like watching a tennis match. It goes from here to there, back and forth. Need some help. Let's bring in our special guest to discuss these new details. Joining us from Annapolis, Maryland, reporter for the Associated Press, who's been all over this thing. Brian Witte is with us. Brian, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Where are we right now with all of this?
Well, you're right. There really are. It really is like a tennis match and the ball going back and forth. A lot of twists and turns. Where we are right now is the Supreme Court of Maryland is weighing whether or not to take the appeal that has been filed by Mr. Syed's attorney. And they have put a stay on the court order by the Intermediate Appellate Court, which reinstated his conviction. So his conviction is kind of in a state of there's no action on it. We're just waiting for the Supreme Court to decide whether they are going to hear the case, and then we will be waiting for their decision. His lawyer, Mr. Syed's lawyer, has raised several legal issues that she says are new issues that should be decided by the court in this moving forward.
Do prosecutors, the state attorney's office down there, you have a new state
Yeah, many do. And I'm not saying I don't. I don't know enough about it yet. I haven't came to a conclusion, Brianna. So I'm only on episodes, like I've on episode 8. So I watched up till 7. Plus I want to like look at other stuff. So I don't know. Now, Jonathan, the one that told me about it, is like saying, no, he's 100% guilty. Like everybody even knows. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a conclusion yet because I like to try to remain open and see both sides. And but I heard a lot of people do think he's guilty. But like I said, don't know. As of right now, listening to the podcast, I'm torn. But maybe by the end of it, if I go through the trial transcripts and I go through the documents and discovery, if I can get all that, I might be like, oh, it's pretty clear. But as of right now, I am just like torn, like just like the Girl in Serial podcast. I'm in the middle. Like I don't freaking know. Like there's some weird things, and then there's stuff that's just like that witness, that Jay guy. It makes no freaking sense. Then why? It almost makes me think maybe he freaking did it, and that's why he is trying to like put it off on Saeed, because he was able to. The biggest thing is he was able to show where her car was, because Adnan, he like helped Adnan get rid of it and stuff. So he was able to like bring them right to her car. So it's like, how did he know where the car was if his story isn't true? But then there's stuff he's saying that it doesn't make sense. It's like, wait, that's can't be true because of this. And then it's just weird stuff. You'll go back and forth because there's some stuff on both sides that don't make sense. So that's why it's like interesting, because it's like, oh man, what the heck? All right, sorry.
Attorney, right? Marilyn Mosby is gone, is my understanding. Does the new state attorney agree that this should be vacated? Or does the new state attorney see it differently than Mosby, that maybe it was a political ploy by her, a little diversion from her own federal criminal trial? What's going on down there with that?
You're right. There really were a lot of those things in the backdrop with the previous state's attorney. She that was just before the election, and you're right. There is that other legal case involving her that makes some people conjecture about what some of the motivations might have been. But the new state's attorney, Mr. Ivan Bates, has not really said anything about the case. He's waiting for the appeals process to play out.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Now, the basis for the original motion to vacate was there actual alleged exculpatory evidence, like evidence that the prosecutor hid or that no one knew about, some new evidence that showed that he was 100% innocent? Or was there just some evidence that could have raised a reasonable doubt?
You know, there really are a lot of things swirling in the backdrop there. And some of these things are issues that were raised in the very podcast that brought so much attention to this. What the prosecutors were focusing on was they have contended that that the prosecutors did not share adequate evidence that with his lawyers at the time, and that it was unfair for him, his legal team not to have that. And that includes ideas of possible other suspects who could have played a role in this. And then another thing that came up too, after Marilyn Mosby decided not to move forward with new charges, they pointed to new DNA evidence. There had been DNA evidence that had been found, and they ran new tests, they said at the time when they said they weren't going to move forward with charges, and that DNA evidence did not include any of Mr. Sayed's. So there's that aspect to it as well.
That was on his shoes.
There
though,
were
wasn't
old,
it? That was on her shoes. Was that on?
Yes. And then there were other issues too. I mean, that were old aspects of the case. Faulty cell tower evidence that was not reliable was an aspect of that. So there's a lot of this was explored in the podcast, and has been people have been hearing about it since that was going back in 2014.
And one final question before we run out of time, Brian. The not sharing the evidence. Did Marilyn Mosby speak with the original prosecutor about that? Because I thought I read some quotes from him that he claims that they did share it, and his original attorney is dead, so that attorney can't say anything, right?
Yeah, there's been some murkiness in that area. That's kind of not been something that's been hugely discussed publicly. There's sort of a he said, she said aspect to all of that. What was known, what wasn't known, what was shared, what wasn't shared. And there's also some elements of notes that were read and interpreted, and how different people interpreted who and what were exactly mentioned in these notes. So there's a lot of confusion on that point, to be honest.
Absolutely. This is the most complicated, confusing, procedurally, factually, everything about this case. So we appreciate your time tonight. Brian Witte from the Associated Press. I'm sure we'll be speaking again about this, so thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Wolfpack, yeah. So you guys watch Serial Podcast. I put the link in it. It's SERIAL podcast. We're going to discuss the podcast plus the case. So how we're going to set it up is like do the podcast and then kind of maybe like if we find like other evidence that goes against the podcast, you know what I'm saying? Kind of just like talk about it and point out things that maybe that's still accurate, that's not, just kind of go through it like that, and talk about it and see what we find. I still have a lot of work to do actually, because I don't know. All I know so far is the podcast. So far, I'm only on episode 7 or 8. And also he did a press conference when he got out. So there's that I want to watch. I did watch a part of that, not all of it. I only watched like the first 10 minutes. But he does this press conference at his house. Adnan does. He does this thing, a press conference at his house when he gets out. So I want to watch that. I want to try to get the documents. It's very interesting, and it could, I mean, it's an important case. It could go back. It could be a new trial. They could just, I think they could just arrest him again. They could just put him in jail again without that, right? Is it saying that there was a conviction reinstatement, but then Sayed's attorneys are appealing it? So what if they don't win the appeal? They could just put him back into prison. So he spent, over 20 years in prison already. So yeah. Let's see what else goes on here.
Sure.
All right, let's bring back in our think tank, Ann Bremner, Rick King, Michael Sterling. All right. Rick, are you chomping at the bit? Are you chomping at the bit right now? What's on your mind?
I would say the word I would use is trepidation, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Give me your thoughts about where we are in this whole thing and what is going to be justice in this case.
So can I tell you my first thought, listening to everything that just took place right now? My first thoughts to me are, we live in a society where we say we would rather have 9 guilty people go free than 1 innocent person go to prison. And so I'm concerned about the level of evidence that whether there was some Brady violations, whether there was some exculpatory DNA evidence, those things are all disconcerting to me. And so I look at those things.
I don't know if it was exculpatory DNA evidence. They said there was no DNA from the defendant on her shoes, and somebody else's DNA was on her shoes.
Right. Well, whether or not DNA would show up in her shoes is a question. I don't know. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think that this gentleman.
But that would be exculpatory. What is he even talking about? If it's somebody else's DNA and it's not Syed's, then that could be exculpatory evidence. You know what I'm saying? What doesn't right? What? Why is what's his name from Court TV? Why is he acting like that? That's not. That's what that would be, right? That would be what would be considered exculpatory evidence because there's evidence that could show that he's innocent. If it's no DNA from Adnan and possibly somebody else's DNA, that would be exculpatory evidence. Am I like not? Am I crazy or not, Vinny? Yeah. That's like a perfect example of what exculpatory evidence would be, right? Anyway.
Gentleman is entitled to real justice and a real indication of whether or not he's guilty of this crime or not. And right now, for me, I'm just concerned about what happened back then because you hear these things, and actually you don't even hear them. You see them today where there are miscarriages of justice that take place. And I'm concerned, and I really don't at this point, whether or not the old state attorney had a political agenda moving forward with what she did, really is of no consequence to where we are right now. Because she made a decision, she vacated the conviction. And here in Florida, we have Marsy's Law, which says the victim has an absolute opportunity to come forward and be a part and have a real participation in these types of proceedings. But the proceeding that we had was a motion by the prosecutor to vacate the prosecution. So the prosecutor was moving to vacate. The defense lawyer was, we agree. And if that's where we are, the procedural remedy for fixing this is to allow the victim an opportunity to be heard. But at the end of the day, the prosecutor has said and is saying that this isn't a prosecution that we believe should stand any longer. And so the real remedy, I don't think, changes the outcome of what we have.
All right, we only have a short amount of time, but Mike Sterling, got to hear from you on this one.
Yeah, Vinny, I mean, what we're hearing procedurally is nothing about the innocence or guilt of the defendant. It's all about a notice issue, right? So the question is whether under victim rights, under Baltimore state law, lots of states have them, victims are entitled to notice before substantial hearings. I've got cases here in Georgia, before there's a bond hearing, the victim's got to be notified. The question is that the appeals court was trying to figure out how do you remedy a failure to properly notify someone, a victim who has rights under state law. And this is what they said was the remedy. Now the Supreme Court will have to weigh in on it because I think it'll be a significant decision in terms of how victims are treated going forward and whether or not failure to notify a victim is such a material issue that you have the authority to vacate something significant like this, which is a conviction being overturned on a motion by the prosecution.
Oh shoot, no, don't do that. Okay. That music. I got copyrighted for their intro music once, so I make sure I don't for court TVs because they have rights to it, but just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean that it's copyright free. Anybody could use it because that person might have rights to it, but I wouldn't. So yeah, I got copyrighted for it before. Anyway, all right, so just a claim, not a strike, but those suck too though, because they claim your whole video. But anyway, all right, so you guys, Thursday, wait, hold on. What's that? I want to make sure. Oh, I thought he was okay. So Thursday, 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. But Tuesday, 8 p.m. I'm gonna do the live with Missy about Delphi. That'll be Delphi. And then let's do that around 8, and then Thursday, yeah, let's do, as of right now, let's try to shoot for 8 for the Adnan. So yeah, look whatever you want, like just look into the case, but for sure the serial podcast, because that's what we're going to be talking about. So yeah, cool. It sounds like a lot of you guys might be really interested in it. I think once you start listening to it, it'll get you interested. And it's relevant because, you know, it is. It's an old case, but it's relevant now because we don't know what's going to happen, you know, what's going to go on. So yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 8 p.m. not in the morning, Peyton. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time. He does. No, he does. Kind of. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't have a conclusion yet because I haven't watched it all or looked into it all. So I don't know yet what I think in the end. Hopefully I will. It might be one of those things where I go through everything and I'm still don't have a conclusion. But as far as what Jonathan is saying, like it's obvious. But I guess that's just somebody's opinion. I might not think that at the end, but he's saying like everybody knows it's obvious that he did it. But right now, I don't see it being that obvious. But I haven't watched it all and I haven't looked into it all yet. So, hey Sean. No, I just mean I need something for my merch. I know we've talk about things and I haven't done anything, but like I need something that like somebody like people because I need to get I don't really have any like my old merch the one that I actually really liked that got taken off, remember? And I haven't put it back together again. The one that I actually have like a bunch of hoodies for. So I need something new and I need something that's like that people would actually want to wear. Like because obviously everything that I've done so far, it wasn't anything that I had barely, I would only sell like a few a year. I didn't sell that many. So obviously it's not something people would like wear. So maybe even like a saying or something that you would think people would actually want to wear or like, art or I know we've talked about sayings and stuff and I never did them yet, but, now I forget which ones we were thinking of. I forget. Remember we were talking about with Juliet, like some of the sayings. That would be good, and I already forget which ones, but yeah. But for art, I need something, and maybe things for like the custom emojis for like the when you're a member, and for like membership things. So hold on. So basically, sorry, I'm going to have a little OCD moment. So not only for the custom emojis, but also for like when you're a member, and then so let's say you're a member for 3 months, you get a certain thing by your name, and then 6 months you get another thing, and then each I think it's every 3 months you get something different to show how long you've been a member. I need some stuff because I think I have one more that it's not filled, so I have to do that. So and then I might want to update the ones I have, So I just also even I wouldn't mind getting a new profile pic too, like something more oh member for 12 months, Keela. That's so awesome that StreamYard updated that about so now that I actually get to see that when people are I could actually highlight them now. That's so cool. They probably got a lot of requests because that was like one of the big things. It's like that sucks because we can't see it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, even another profile. I wouldn't even mind something that was more fitting. Like yeah, the thing with me is Zeke's cool, but it's like how often is really Zeke on my channel? You know what I'm saying? Maybe something just I don't know. That'll be the last thing. So right now, really would love to get some merch. Oh, because the merch could be the same as one of my profiles. So really some merch designs and yeah, but even I was saying you could maybe put it together, like maybe some of the things I say, but like pick a font and how I would do it. How would I put it on the shirt? I don't know. I just need help because obviously the stuff I've done, it's not very good. I mean, because a lot of people, not something people would want to wear because I didn't sell very many. So I feel like I wanted something like more, like maybe something, yeah, very like something that has to do with the channel, but then maybe even something that kind of does, but something like could be have other meanings maybe or something. Oh, Zeke, come here, Bubba. Or I better go. But thanks, guys. Tuesday and Thursday, we'll see ya, and I'm gonna go hang out with the Zekester. Bye, everybody.